Welcome to my History 701 discussion board dealing with JSTOR resources. Unlike the previous discussion board dealing with dissertations, research articles for my particular topic dealing with the Dix-Hill Cartel and the Lieber Code are readily available. JSTOR search results populated several articles as well as chapters and books. Now, this is where things were a little interesting to me because of the fact that these chapters that they are bringing up actually really don't go into detail about the Dix-Hill Cartel or the Lieber Code itself. It's just a quick blurb of when it was issued and who it was by, who created the code itself. But for the purposes of this discussion board, I will be looking at three specific Lieber Code articles. The first one is by retired Lieutenant Colonel Burris M. Carnahan, entitled Lincoln, Lieber, and the Laws of War, the Origins and Limits of the Principle of Military Necessity. In this particular article, Carnahan contends that the strength in the Lieber Code is that it laid down the foundation for the principle of military necessity. He furthermore breaks down military necessity into various categories such as restraint, a license for mischief, political issues, and civil justice. He does not, however, take an in-depth look at prisoners of war. He argues that prisoners of war were a minor thing that had actually been created by somebody else, but was briefly addressed in the Lieber Code, and instead chose to focus more on the codification of military strategy and legal aspects. The second article is entitled The Genesis of This Little Tablet with My Name, Francis Lieber and the Wartime Origins of General Orders Number 100, written by D.H. Delbeck. Now, Delbeck is an assistant professor with Oklahoma Baptist University, and this article is actually part of a larger project he was working on that he actually goes into some detail with a chapter on the Lieber Code itself. But his primary purpose in writing this article is to attempt to determine the origins of the Lieber Code and what was the driving force behind its creation. He does draw on several articles in which the authors of those argued that the principal purpose of Lieber creating this code was emancipation and the ending of slavery, whereas Delbeck's argument lies in the words of Francis Lieber himself. In a letter to Charles Sumner, Lieber explains that it was prisoners of war, guerrilla warfare, and parole that influenced the code. The final article, Dr. Francis Lieber and the Lieber Code, written by Jordan Paust, is a short 3-page exploration of Lieber and the international law he created in the Lieber Code. The article was presented at the American Society of International Law, and he goes to great lengths to demonstrate the influence that Lieber had on international law. Through his communication with various individuals in different countries in hopes of convincing them to create similar codifications of the laws of war. Long story short, Lieber actually did have many friends in France, Spain, Portugal, Russia, China, Britain, Germany, well, at that time, Prussia. And he actually does communicate with these guys. He shares the Lieber Code with them and says, this is what you need to create, is something like this. And ultimately they do, and then the Lieber Code becomes international and is actually a major influencer in several of the big conventions that everybody agrees to, like the Geneva Red Cross of 1864 convention, the Hague Convention, a convention on St. Petersburg and Brussels, as well as others. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this.